We go. Let me really quickly activate the chat for you guys. One moment. Think we should be good to go now. Let's do a quick test. Let us have a look. Welcome everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome to another live trading room, guys, here at the Trading Pit with Samurai Day Trading. We have Lachlan here with us. For some reason, his name tag still says Cody, but that's Lachlan. Don't let him fool you. That's Lachlan right there.
It
So
is.
he's
It
gonna
is.
he's gonna do the live trading room this week, as he usually does. Last week we had Cody because we had some technical issues, but this time we have Lachlan back. So he's going to guide you through today's live trading with the whole shebang happening right now in the markets. You know, everything is quite interesting because of the situation around the world. So everyone take notes, prepare your notebooks, pens, mouses to click on everything really fast and trade and enjoy your session.
Sounds great. Awesome. So hi everybody. Hope you're magic. Alan, thank you again for the introduction, guys, and also a big thank you to TTP. Now, for some reason, my name is Cody today. I've tried to change it. As it doesn't want to play the game at this point in time, but that's all right. That's all right. We can rock and roll. Now, as I trust everybody as well. There's obviously a lot of uncertainty going on in the world. What I'm going to do here, let me turn the slides on. I'm just going to grab the chat function, make sure that you can see what I can see. Right, so I trust you can see black slides. Diane, how are you, Ken? G'day, Kevin. No volume. Have you got volume now, Kev? Have you got volume now? You should be good. Dan, how are you? Suleiman, how are you? Steve, I saw your comments in the virtual LTR today, mate. So thank you for that. A really lovely trade, that one. Brings up a really good discussion. It was a really good discussion about reversals off pivots and similar things. So guys, welcome. My name's Lockie. I'm going to be taking you for the session today. So guys, thanks to TTP, we're going to be broadcasting across multiple channels. So this is going to be quite good fun. I'm very glad that Arlen is in charge of that technology. Clearly, I'm just going to do the candlestick stuff now, guys. As I talk to you, the FDAX is very angry, guys. Europe is very, very angry. So we're going to have to keep a very close eye on that. Obviously, a lot of sensitivities going on globally. So guys, we'll rock through it. So first and foremost, welcome. I'm going to be taking you for the session today, guys. I'll talk about my history in a second. Why the live trading room? Guys, now I put together these slides, guys, over the last couple of days. I just wanted to highlight for those people that are out there in the world, guys. You might be watching us on YouTube or so YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. As I said, I'm glad Arlen is doing that. I was reflecting on my journey so far. I put these comments together for you because it may do, guys. So we're right on contract rollover as well. So I'm going to teach you guys today how to deal with contract rollover. Guys, having been in trading since August 2007 is when I discovered futures, and I started my own trading school in August of 2009. Guys, the reason I did that is there was ultimately no trading schools in Australia that were teaching futures trading, as everybody was teaching Forex or CFDs. And for those of you that have either read my books or guys, you've hung around me long enough, you know that I'm not a fan of Forex trading at all, because Forex trading is done through a broker. So in August 2009, I started my journey. Guys, what did I discover very, very quickly? The most competent, the most competent, the most successful traders I've ever worked with are those that are not only educated and supported, but they're mentored, guys, in the live market environment until they're consistently profitable as a professional trader. Guys, that's why Samurai does all of that in one go, guys. We educate, we mentor, we coach, and obviously we run live trading rooms every day. Now, I think the best environment, guys, to teach you how to trade is a live market environment, guys, ultimately for those 4 points. As I spoke to some very, very big traders over the last couple of days, those people that are sort of aiming for $30,000, maybe $40,000 profit per week. And I said, what are the advantages of the live trading room, guys? Their feedback was literally immediate proof of performance. So I said, there's a lot of people out there in the world that'll tell you this is how we're going to teach you how to trade. But at the end of the day, they're actually not calling the signals for you. So instead, guys, we do exactly the opposite. So immediate proof of performance. We're building confidence, guys, in not only the strategy, but the approach to trading. Those two very, very different things. We build confidence in both. There's obviously nowhere to hide in the live charts, which I do personally enjoy a great deal. So in the live charts, you can either trade or you can't trade. And we're going to find out really quickly today, guys and girls, whether the strategy actually works. And guys, I also like a live environment because there's an AMA format, which is basically ask me anything, guys, about what's going on in the market, and I'll do my best to answer it. Now, for those of you that haven't joined us before, the live trading room runs 5 days per week. As we basically cover the European Open and the US Close, which are two of the best trading sessions in the world. Guys, in July, we're going to be bringing on a session for TTP for the US Open, which will be quite good fun. Guys, and we've also got the virtual live trading that runs 20 hours per day. Guys, so if you want to hang around other traders and effectively develop your competence and your expertise, guys, the virtual LTR is bopping along, doing what it needs to do. Guys, the sound was bopping along today, so I've set it up correctly, guys, with some assistance from some very smart people. Suffice to say, it's gone really, really well. Now, guys, compliance, we've got 4 things that we need to discuss very, very quickly. Firstly, that both CFD and futures trading, where some of you will be trading CFDs today, both futures and CFDs do involve risk, guys, while you're trading. Now, that risk gets greater, guys, because we're trading on margin. What does that mean? We borrow a little bit of money every time we take a trade. That means we've got the potential to make money very quickly. We've also got the potential to lose money relatively quickly. Therefore, we've got to be very, very well aware that we are professional risk controllers. Guys, what does it ultimately mean? We're going to control our risk very, very quickly, and we're going to let our profits run. And I have a sneaking suspicion today, guys, is going to be one of those days where the market runs. There is no question about that. So everything we're doing today, guys, general information only. The past performance of all financial products goes in the strictest compliance regions in the world, those being ultimately Australia, the UK, and some of the European countries. Guys, you are no longer allowed to use the past performance of any financial product. Guys, is a hint of future performance. In saying that, guys, I do put a post on Instagram every day, guys, about what we've done in the live trading room. We also do a post on YouTube every day, guys. So our YouTube is Samurai Day Trading, very, very easy to find, guys. And our Instagram is i.love.trading, which is a channel that I've had for quite some time. Guys, now market risk factors. Guys, the presentation we're going to be doing today is for educational purposes only. Guys, and at the end of the day, I'm going to be identifying trades for you as per the Samurai education course. Guys, I'm going to do my best to get you in and out of the market as I possibly can, or as best as I possibly can. The flip side of all of that is that we are trading over the internet. So not everybody is going to be able to get in where I get in, and not everybody's going to get out where I get out, because that's just a byproduct of the internet. So guys, who am I? Very, very brief history. I'm basically the head coach and presenter at Samurai Day Trading. I wrote all of the trading algorithms that we're using today and designed all of the initial indicators. So started designing indicators in 2009, guys, as I mentioned to you earlier. That's when I started my first trading school. Guys, and the reason I did that is because there were no decent trading schools in Australia. Guys, there were a couple of big ones, but they were teaching the wrong markets like Forex and CFDs. So I decided I'd change it by opening my own trading school and teaching people what I would suggest is honest and ethical trading. Dare I say it, that's futures trading. And guys, here we are today. So what to expect in the live trading room? Guys, very, very quickly, we're going to let the market do the heavy lifting. Guys, I've put a little gold symbol down in the bottom right-hand corner of this chart because there is a young trader down in South Australia who will be joining us today, guys, who's trading gold on the US Open. So he had an absolute blinder last night, guys, an absolute blinder on the US Open on gold. So again, if you're a gold trader, absolutely brilliant. Just remember, guys, please just remember, let the market do the heavy lifting. What does that mean? The market is going to generate the signal for you. It's going to tell you where to put your stop loss. It's going to tell you where to put your target. And ultimately, as a futures trader, you can trust all this information because we have no brokers in the market, guys, to manipulate the market against us while we're trading. All right. So that's one of the biggest advantages we do have. Now, what to expect in the LTR, guys? I'm going to be focusing on 12 different styles of trading, all part of the education course. Guys, your charts will be outlaid like this. So NASDAQ top left-hand corner, S&P down the bottom. Guys, on the right-hand side, you've got the FDAX top right, and then you've got the FESX. That is a really, really good combination of charts for the European Open. Guys, it's been proved since 2011 to be a very, very good way of trading these markets. And ultimately, guys, if you're on the NASDAQ, please use the S&P as a reference chart. If you're on the FDAX, use the FESX as a reference chart. The reason being, guys, we focus on the charts that have the highest volume globally. They're the ones that are going to give us a hint as to what direction we should be trading the market. So if there are European Open trading rooms out there, guys, that focus on the NASDAQ and they don't have visibility of the bottom right-hand corner down there, which is the FESX, may I suggest their strike rate is not going to be above 90%. And as a result, guys, it's very, very hard to make money if your strike rate is less than 90%. All right, let's get into the live charts, guys. Let's get into the live charts. I'll get rid of that PowerPoint for you, as I'm also going to turn the camera off because it's going to cover up our charts. All right, so let me get rid of that for you. Move some boxes around, guys. We'll turn the camera back on towards the end of the session. Okay. Let's get into it, guys and girls, because there's a lot we need to run through. All right, so first things first, we're going to go to the bottom right-hand corner, which is the FESX. All right, so that is at the moment the largest, or will be in around about 19 minutes, will be one of the largest volume markets in the world. So first and foremost, guys, we've got to watch the European markets because we may be rolling over contracts, guys. I'll show you how to look for that now, and then we may have to roll over. Guys, it is a US bank holiday in the US. So it's a US bank holiday in the US. That makes a lot of sense. Guys, suffice to say, the markets are moving very, very well, despite the fact it is a public holiday. Now, with all that said, guys, there's high impact news at 8 p.m. Tokyo time tonight. So if you are trading a little bit later on, guys, that post-Euro lunch move, which is going to be pretty volatile today. Guys, if you are trading that, please watch the 8 p.m. news. Apart from that, there is nothing else to talk about. Now, top right-hand corner, guys and girls, top right-hand corner is the FDAX. All right, a couple of things to think about is when I started doing my recon about an hour ago, the 60-minute chart was 4 phases down. Whereas that normally means we're going to get a really nice move to the high side. It doesn't guarantee that move, but it does mean that we're probably going to get a big move to the high side. Now, with all of that said, guys, the FDAX, if we do get a really good move, is going to chase the 4-hour 50 fib. We can't put that Fibonacci on yet, guys, because we don't know whether the selling is ultimately going to stop. All right, so here's your 4-hour chart. At this point in time, the 4-hour Fibonacci, guys, we'll leave an arrow on here, so we'll show you exactly where to put it. Whoops, that is not the button I was looking for. Where's my little arrow? There it is there. As our 4-hour Fibonacci, provided I don't have a higher high there, no, our 4-hour Fibonacci is most likely to run from there to there. All right, so we'll come back and look at this during the trading session itself. But if we do go from there to there, then they're probably going to return to the 50 fib of that range, which is around about here. If they do that, guys, they're going to come and try and close this gap. All right, so I wouldn't be surprised at all, guys, if we get a really, really good little buying campaign today. Okay, would not be surprised at all. Now, the flip side of that, we're right on contract rollover, guys, right on contract rollover. This is how I want you to ultimately analyze contract rollover. Only happens 4 times a year. It just happens to be today, which will be good fun. So what I do is I grab a 1440 chart, so 1440-minute chart, guys, on the new contract. So a 1440-minute chart on the new contract. The volume on the new contract is currently 981. As on the old contract, it's 901, which means we have swapped to the new contract. Now, what does this ultimately mean? Guys, the actual volume changeover normally occurs around about 45 minutes into the session. So what we'll do is we'll give them around about another 12 or so minutes. We may end up trading on the new contract. Guys, we may end up letting the old contract run for 15 minutes and then transitioning over. Okay, what we do want to do is we want to have a look at the price of the new versus the price of the old. Sorry, let me just fix that little mistake. So at the moment, guys, the new contract is trading at 269. The old contract is trading at 139. That is a massive difference. That is a massive difference. So let's double check that again. 270 versus 142. That's a massive difference. So what it means is we are going to be picking up trades on the old contract first, then the new contract. All right. So we're going to have to wait for the bulk of the volume to definitely change over. All right. So that's all right. Just another complexity that we deal with potentially 3 or 4 times a year. 101. Yeah, so that's what I was going to go and check, mate. That's what I was going to go and check is whether the volume switches on the old versus the new. Okay, now that does, guys, we're gonna be hunting that static bar reversal, guys, when we come into open, so not now. One of the best ways to do it, guys and girls, top right-hand corner, you can link all your charts together. So notice I've got, again, my 15, my 30-minute chart, they're all linked. So if we do get a volume changeover, which we'll check in around about, let's say 12 minutes time, then all I can do is push one button and all of my charts are going to change. Right? All of my charts will change. Okay, now we'll do that potentially down here on the Europe as well. So let me have a look. So old contract FESX is currently at 5,500. New one is already more. So I would suggest we're swapping. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go and do the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, and then we'll probably end up swapping contracts. Now, guys, what I've got over here for the American-based traders, if you trade the opening candle, you've got a cluster of reversal signals over here. The one that I've got my biggest eye on, that's my biggest eye on. Can everybody see just here? You've got the actual mathematics working behind the charts. That little SBR, static bar reversal, is a very, very strong reversal point. All right, so if on European Open, if these guys shoot down, guys, they fail at Fibonacci and then turn around and come back the other way. If you trade the opening candle, keep a very close eye on a long, guys, at 842, 21842. Please don't take that trade now. Guys. We need to wait to see what, ultimately to see what Europe is going to do. What we've got to be aware of for the NASDAQ traders, your 60-minute chart Fibonacci is working perfectly. Please be aware that just above you, you've got an S1 pivot. The S&P 500 is also mucking around at the same pivot. So just be a little bit careful on open. If the sellers shoot down, but the buyers try and push back to the S1, whereas the S1 is a pivot, obviously it works in both directions. Now, again, for the S&P 500 traders, you've also got a static bar reversal over here on the left-hand side. So if they were to push down and then close back above the S1, which is highly likely, we may get a really, really nice buying opportunity. Now, with all of that said, guys, we've got this beautiful 60-minute chart swing trigger long. A beautiful 60-minute chart swing trigger long on the S&P 500 at 6021. So if we were to buy the market, guys, and get a really nice strong buying signal that goes above the 50 of the day, that could lead into a 60-minute chart reversal. Guys, if the 60-minute chart reversal holds, these guys are going to be buying the market for around about 3 hours. Right now, at the moment, guys, do I think that is going to happen? Today, Europe's really angry, so we're going to actually put basically all the pressure on Europe to confirm that they definitely want to take trades, and then we will be off and racing. Let me just move some stuff around here in the background. Perfect. Now S&P. So what have I got here, guys? The S&P and NASDAQ are in swing trigger shorts into failure zones. So what I want to do is point out primarily, guys, on the 60-minute chart, these guys have sold down for 4 selling phases. We're getting to the point where they're either going to break to the downside or pick up a lovely reversal. So what I've done, guys, great little Fibonacci lesson. I've drawn my Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. At this point in time, the Fibonacci is working really well. As if the American markets were, just a bit of a warning order, if they do move down to these 76 fibs, or even lower, if we get down around the 88.6 Fibonacci, anywhere near the 88.6, guys, if you can pick up a valid buying signal on the 5-minute chart or the 15-minute chart down there, that could be an incredible opportunity to send the market back for really, really long-range targets. Now, the reason I say that, guys, is you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 selling phases. So normally we get 3 steps in a stumble. Guys, we've got a 4th step today. That means it's either a 4-hour chart trade or these guys are going to run out of steam any second, turn around and go back the other way. Okay, but you can see, guys, the trend on all 60-minute charts is aggressively down, right? Even if I come over here, guys, onto the FDAX, the 60-minute chart traders would be looking to basically sell anything they can get their hands on. right? Anything they can get their hands on. On the 4-hour chart, guys, on the 4-hour chart, again, at this point in time, I don't have a higher high on the S&P 500. So this is not a swing trigger short. Guys, so I'm thinking if the selling does bop along, it's potentially not going to go very far unless Europe just falls out of its tree. Guys, if Europe falls out of its tree, then obviously the US is going to go out in sympathy. Same for the Nasdaq traders. You don't have a swing trigger short on the 4-hour chart. There may be, guys, I'm just looking at Fibonacci here. There may be, I'm going to leave my 4-hour fib right where it is actually. No, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to say a 4-hour fib is drawn up the stair step to catch them on the way down. No, we'll leave that alone. Okay, let's get back to FDAX, guys. We're just going to do another volume check. If the volume has climbed, so this is the new contract at 1176. The old contract is at 1,000. So it looks like we are definitely changing onto the new contract. So what I'm going to do, guys, at that point in time, and this is how I would suggest you do it, guys, all of your charts, all the charts you want to switch over are all linked together. All I'm going to do is change this to the FDAX 9. Now, the way I'm going to do that, guys, is literally just left click on the screen and write FDAX. What it's going to do, I'm going to double click on this and it will automatically take me to the contract with the greatest volume. Okay, now you'll note that's taken me to the 9 of 25 contract. Now, some of my Fibonacci is going to be out, so we'll go and fix that. I'll come down here to the FESX, do exactly this, do exactly the same thing. Left click, just write FESX. It'll go and find it for you. Ninja will go and do all the calculation for you guys. So again, that is definitely swapped to the new contract. All right, I'm very glad my little labels have stayed. So what we'll do, guys, primarily is we'll go and look, we can get rid of the, we won't get rid of the comparison chart just yet. All right, so what we're going to do, we'll go to the weekly chart. You'll note just with the switch of contracts, you'll see that a couple of the Fibonacci's have actually jumped off the candles. All right, so all I'm going to do is jump those Fibonacci's onto the more recent price movement. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. We'll get rid of that Fibonacci there. Oh, it doesn't like me switching on it at such a high level. Okay, that's all right. So we'll get rid of the daily fib, guys. We'll go and replot that. We'll get rid of this fib and we'll get rid of that one. We'll replot all of those. All right, so on the daily chart, I'm going to draw my Fibonacci up to catch them on the way down. I was ultimately looking for 3 touches. That's going to go from there to there. That looks like it's spot on. 1, 2. That could be it, guys. We might be fine-tuning it because of a contract rollover. So let me just make this blue. Boom, boom. I will, guys, while I'm doing this, I will grab some microphones. Codes, how are you? Hope you're fantastic. Hope you are fantastic. So if my Fibonacci, guys, is slightly off, guys, please do jump in. Young Beck, I'll give you a mic as well, just in case you see something that I miss. As I'm chasing the legend himself, Damsey, you're good to rock and roll, man. Okay, so guys, back to Fibonacci. We'll drop to the 4-hour chart, guys, and we'll see what the 4-hour chart is holding for us. What have we got? We've got 5 minutes, guys. We're looking pretty good. I've got nothing on the 4-hour chart, guys. The only thing I can do, which we will have to adjust on the 4-hour chart, we're going to draw our Fibonacci down to catch them on the way up. I see if they do push down even lower, right? So if they do push down even lower on the opening candle, guys, it's going to drag the 50 fib. This is where they're likely to go back to. It's going to drag that a little bit further. Okay. Down to the 60-minute chart, guys, there was a really, really amazing extension on here, guys. I'll put this little label on here for you. So we're going to run over the most recent stair step down. So we got one from here to here to here. Guys, and it looks like, again, our little targets, that 133 fib extension, looks like that's being honored really, really well. Okay, drop down to the 30-minute chart. We are actually setting up 30-minute reversals. So we are setting up 30-minute reversals to the high side. 15-minute chart, let's have a quick look. Okay, the major reversal is not to the high of the day. So don't be surprised at all if the markets decide, guys, they've had enough of selling and they're going to turn and run back the other way. Now, speaking of that, guys, I did warn Arlen out, guys, as we came in today, kind of important. If you see the candles twitching, guys, if you see the candles twitching up and down, someone may have fired a rocket at somebody else, guys, and the candles twitch because the computer robots don't know how to interpret the news. So if we do see the market go absolutely gangbusters in either direction, guys, if it does go gangbusters in either direction, just be aware that it could be a rocket. And I'll tell you if I see the twitching. But even if you're not in the live trading room, guys, and the market starts twitching, you know exactly what it is. Now, for the FDAX traders, again, guys, I'm hunting this little buying delta there. All right, so for those people that are not familiar with what we do, that little black diamond is a buying delta. If we do sell down, guys, fail at Fibonacci and come back the other way, that little black diamond delta there will be a really lovely buy signal, guys, inside the actual cash market itself, okay? So as we get ready to start, guys, we'll look for, see this failure down here on the 15-minute chart. They've just come down and failed there again. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if some of the experienced traders may already be looking at long off those 76 fibs. I'm just going to correct that fib there. So today, guys, I do believe we're going to pick up probably around about 10 to 12 trades. So please don't, Ken, nice work. Please don't let me talk you into a trade that you normally otherwise don't take. Guys, the opening candle on FDAX is very, very tradable, but you need to be very, very careful about how that is done. At this point in time, guys, the FESX, all right, so this is Big Brother down the bottom right-hand corner. The FESX will normally go and touch the 50 fib of the day in the opening candle of the cash market, which is 2 minutes and 38 seconds away. That says to me that the FDAX is likely to sell down first before it goes up. Guys, now at the moment, for those that are a fan of stair step, which is really important. It's kind of the foundation of everything that I do. As at the moment, the buyers have just stolen the stair step, So if we are going to pick up a really, really lovely buy signal, right, the sellers are going to have to come back down first. They're going to have to break through that level. So the sellers are going to steal the stair step before they turn around and come back the other way, right? So just be careful that we can't trade that delta, right? So that delta entry point, which you're not allowed to put on right now, please. Delta entry point is 23270. You guys are looking for a 5-point risk control point at 275. Based on volatility, guys, you're probably going to look at a 5. I'd say a 5 and 35 at this point in time, guys. So we'll put that on the screen. All right. So the FDAX traders who want to stretch it out, you're looking for a 5-point target and a 35-point target. We're probably going to fine tune that, guys, when we get into the markets. All right. So 1 minute and 17 seconds to go, guys. So if you're copy trading, just make sure you've got the right accounts, guys. If you're funded trader, make sure you're connected to the right funder. If you're just trading your own money, guys, and you want to trade live today, switch that on. If you want to trade in Sim today, go trade in Sim, whatever you are most comfortable doing. At this stage, guys, the sellers own the stair step on the NASDAQ. So from the opening candle, we were to sell back down, guys, and we go underneath that black diamond delta, if you trade the opening candle, guys, you would be looking to take a trade. If you are long already, guys, because of these deltas on the NASDAQ, guys, if you're long already, then you would be looking to, at this point in time, make sure you've got no risk on the trade. So if they run, they run. If they don't, it doesn't ultimately matter, okay? So 22 seconds until the gun goes, guys. Let's do our best. Please don't let me romance you into an opening candle trade on the FDAX, guys, unless that's what you normally do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a fib up to catch them on the way down. Guys, that'll be on that little move just there, not the opening candle. And we'll just see what these guys have ultimately got for us. Okay, so we're going to wait for this opening candle to change color, guys, so we know what we are doing. For those that have come into the session right on the buzzer, it was right on the buzzer, just be aware that we have rolled over our contracts. Okay, we have rolled over our contracts. Looks like that Fibonacci is working quite well. FDAC, so NASDAQ traders at this stage, if you're long on the delta from down the bottom, have I got anybody long on the NASDAQ for long range targets? I know Ken's gone long for short range target. Is anybody long for long range? You might be long on either of those there if that's what you trade. If you are, guys, give me a yell and we'll give you some longer range targets to the high side. If you are long on the NASDAQ, guys, if you are long on the NASDAQ, please be aware. Okay, please be aware. That's basically a mathematically generated signal. Wow, FDAX, crazy move to the high side. All right, so at this point in time, guys, good. At this point in time, we're just going to let these guys do what they do, as this is a very, very powerful move on behalf of the FDAX. If you are an opening candle trader, guys, and you do want to go short against this extreme volume, there is a sell at this stage sitting underneath, guys, underneath the open at 320. Guys, at 320. Now, if that is what you do, guys, if that's what you do, yeah, Ken, good one. For those that don't trade under the open, guys, you'd be looking for a push up to the pre-top and the S1.
That's a 5-minute
the
extension.
Open trade, guys, looks really, really good at 320. So you're going to be selling short at 320. The reason I say it's looking really good, we'll get rid of that Fibonacci, which we don't need anymore. The reason 320 is looking really good, okay, is that that's going to be at a really good Fibonacci level. All right, so let me just do this. Sometimes we end up with a few Fibonacci's, guys, on our screen as we get started, guys, and there is, for the FDAX traders, the magic 133 fib. So if you guys are short, guys, at 320, if you're short at 320, underneath the open after the candle change colors, okay, you've gone through your 5-point target at 315, your 10-point target is at 310. Please make sure you've controlled your risk on that trade already. Guys, please make sure you've controlled your risk. What I was looking for Fibonacci-wise, guys, as I do every day, is the 133 fib extension. That's what gave that reversal off the open some pretty serious credibility. Okay, so if you're short at 320, guys, first target is 315, second target is 310. You should be through both of those targets already. Shelton, nice work, mate. Nice work. Okay, well done, well done. Now, again, guys, if you don't trade the opening candle on FDAX, I'll just put a little circle on it because we've spoken about it. If you don't trade the opening candle on FDAX, okay, just wait. Let's just wait for these guys to sort themselves out. Looks like the buyers are losing control. Everywhere. The FDAX is likely first port of call, guys, to sell down to the 100 extension of the Fibonacci it failed at. So again, if your target is 310, which has already been paid, your target is in an absolutely perfect location. Perfect location. NASDAQ traders, please don't trade those deltas because you're assuming a close over multiple pivots. So just wait for the close of this candle and then we'll assess what they're doing. DAX traders are in the last 90 seconds. So no new trades. So no new trades for the DAX. And if you are a DAX trader and you do trade the opening candle and you took that short, well done. That's a beautiful little trade. The next trade for the FDAX traders will be if the FESX, let's keep a very close eye on this here. If the FESX closes outside its pre-top, so above its pre-top, we can't go short. Okay, we can't go short. Let me get rid of some Fibonacci's here. All right, so we'll start to strip the fibs away. There will be a gap Fibonacci. So MJ, spot on the mark, guys. So there is going to be a fib running from the gap down to the low of today, right? Otherwise known as the gap fib. Very, very specific, guys. Very, very specific to the FDAX. Okay, now at this point in time, guys, what we're looking for is effectively the same reversal again on FDAX as effectively being traded as a climactic reversal. Now, we would need the buyers to buy just a little bit on the FDAX. It would be nice if we got them to buy a little bit before they try and sell the market down. Now, I'm short, guys, on the climactic failure. I do want them to go to 305. Oh, beautiful. So I'm personally short, guys, in the background. So I got short on the climactic FDAX candle. Guys, I got in at 315 for 5s and 10s on 4 contracts. Dan's got the same trade. Well done, guys, well done. So that trade took around about 9 or 10 seconds. So if that is your trade, guys, if that is your trade, waiting for the FDAX candle to go climactic and then taking a climactic reversal, the moment these guys show and fail, if you're short on that one, that is absolutely divine, guys. Now, just for transparency, guys, I do this all the time when I'm running the LTR. Just for transparency, right, there is my executed trade, 691.80 US, all right, 691.80 US. So just over 1,000 Aussie dollars. What does it mean? I'll go for at least one more trade, guys, at least one more trade. I'll try and get myself up around 1,000 US, and then I will solely focus on your profitability. It's kind of a double-edged weapon, right? We try and make as much money as we can, as early as we can, and then we focus on your trading. Shelton, you're over KPI, so you're heading off. That was a hard 5 minutes. I say, well done, mate. I think that's fantastic. Well done. So that, for those that are not aware, that's what we call an extreme volume or climactic reversal. I prefer extreme volume. Right? So we've waited for the opening candle to blow all of its volume. We've identified the area where it's failing. We've then waited for the buyers to push up towards the known area. Then we've gone short and we've hit it for some really good targets. So well done. Well done, everybody. If you're a DAX trader, so far, you guys have had a very, very easy trading session. There is no doubt. Now, for everybody else, these guys are waiting ultimately for the OSR to be set. Ken, nice work. I'm very tempted to take, it's almost 700 US dollars. It's very tempting to take that and just leave. just run away. I'll get in a lot of trouble from Arlen if I do that. Right? So we'll hunt for one more super high probability trade, right, guys, a plus sort of 95%er. We'll take the 600 or 700 US off the market, and then we'll say, all right, we're done for the day. We'll come back tomorrow and do the same thing. Guys, now tomorrow, guys, I believe you're under the very watchful eye of Cody. It does make it a lot easier to hunt these things, guys, when you're not on the microphone, I've got to say. So I believe Cody's on tomorrow. He did an amazing job on Monday. So let's just see how we go.
I'm not on tomorrow, Lockie.
I'm
flying
guys,
tomorrow.
we are only 8 and a bit minutes into this trading session. Okay, some of you have already hit your KPI, which I do think is very, very exciting. For the FDAX, the next trade for you guys, you're approaching the last 90 seconds. I'd love to see a sell down. I'm not seeing anything on the American markets, guys, that are floating my boat at all. The only thing for the S&P 500 traders would be a short under the 50 fib of the day. Okay, so if you are a 50 fib trader, you may have taken a short. Guys, now I didn't call that trade for you. Hey, look, Cody, I can't hear you. I can't. Or no.
I'll try again now. Can you hear me yet, Lock?
Cody? No, you're unmuted, Cody, at my end. So it's your microphone.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm talking, but you're not replying to me.
No, mate, I can't hear you. Hang on. That could. Oh, you can. Oh, it's a. Hang on. Wait. I know what it is, Codes. I know what it is. Hold on. Hold on. It's because I turned, and we're not missing any trades, guys. Because I turned the volume down. I turned the volume down on.
Oh, here he is.
The virtual LTR because I was running the virtual LTR. Now I don't know how to turn it back up again. So how about we just leave that for a moment? So hold on one sec. Okay. Let me focus on what I'm doing. So for the FDAX traders, at this point in time, you need a higher high before we're looking for the open base. We're looking for the open reversal again short. Guys, now that's fine for you guys to get the buyers showing, and you're looking for a short again at 320. So you're looking for a short again at 320 with your first target and risk control point is 315. Now for the NASDAQ traders, all right, both American markets have got 4-point turning bars short. What I need to do is need to work out where you are in relation to your most immediate Fibonacci. So sorry, codes, I can't hear you at the moment, but I'm going to try and fix that sound issue. Okay, I'm going to try and fix that sound issue. Let me just have a look here. All right, now the only way, so for the Nazi traders, you are straight into the 50 fib of the micro trend. Yeah, exactly right. So I don't want you guys, I actually don't want you guys going short. Okay, I don't want you going short. What I'm looking for instead is it would be amazing if the sellers push down and we can pick up these deltas going the other way. Okay, that would be incredible. Now, FDAX at this point in time. So DAXI at this point in time, I really want to get rid of that extension in the background. Let me just go and get rid of this extension here. Okay, we'll start to clean up our charts a little bit. That's better. So for those that are looking for an open short, guys, you're looking, be careful how I say that. Don't take an open short because you need a stop loss and a target. So you guys are going to put a sell order underneath the open if you're a pivot-based trader. Guys, you've got a short on the FDAX at 320. First target and risk control point is 315. So for the NASDAQ traders, you've got a 4-point turning bar short. The only way you could go short, guys, if you put a Fibonacci over this big red candle, you wait for the retrace and you see the retrace get slammed, right? It's like completely obliterated. At this point in time, they're not obliterating it, guys. So everybody that knows what they're doing knows that that Fibonacci is hanging here. FDAX, just watch this one. They're coming back down. Perfect timing on the FDAX. So if you are going to go short on FDAX, guys, at 320, there is going to be a concentration of sell orders behind this current candle. So all these buyers, if they decide to panic, guys, are going to go short at 320. So if you are going to go short at 320 on FDAX, guys, your first target and risk control point 315. Go on FDAX. Go on, sweet. Go, darling. Go. No, a little bit forward. Boom. Keep going. Come on. One more point. Come on. Just go one more point. Go and kiss 314 just to guarantee everybody at 315 gets paid. Now, if you're short under the open, guys, you've gone far enough to trigger a risk control. Come on, FDAX. Sweetheart, we've had such a great relationship for years. Go down a little bit further. Come on. I think it's going to keep going, guys. I think it's going to keep going. Oh, boom. There we go. Okay. If you are short on the FDAX, guys, at 320, your first target is 315. Your second target is 310. NASDAQ, guys, we're not going short. Right? We're not going short. Hopefully somebody got that. Hopefully somebody got that one. That would be absolutely amazing. +5 and 1. Andy, well done. Good. Now at this stage, guys, we're probably going to set up a really amazing short, guys, on the FDAX. So no new trades for the DAX traders. Okay, so no new trades at this point in time. Okay, what we're doing, guys, for the FDAX is, again, we've got tons of time on NASDAQ. Guys, you guys are taking a long time to set up a really sexy trade. So just hold on one tick. Guys, we've picked up effectively 2 shorts off the open here. What's going to happen is in 1 minute's time, the OSR will be set for the European-based traders. Guys, if this current candle closes under the open, and then as part of the new candle in 50 seconds time, they push up towards the OSR and fail, guys, the DAX traders can go short for long-range targets. So I would suggest at this point in time, okay, a really lovely long-range target for the short traders on FDAX. If you are still short, guys, your long-range target is down there at 90. So if you are short, guys, at 320, you're going for a 30-point target, guys, pretty much inside what we were talking about before, 5s and 35s. Dan, nice work, mate. Okay, 5s and 10s, well done. MJ might need Dan's ATM, I'd suggest. Mate, you've been ATM'd again. Paul, nice work. Well done. Diane, nice work. Oh, the FDAX traders, you guys are all killing it. So well done. All right, NASDAQ traders, we cannot go short now. All right, the reason being is you are assuming a close under the S1. So what's going to happen, guys, if we push down to the S1 and get well below the S1, you guys are eyeing off an S1 reversal long. Guys, you're looking at an S1 reversal long. We would need to push well below the S1, guys, or you're looking for a black diamond delta long on the current candle. Okay, now FDAX traders, you guys have gapped over the open. So it means the only selling trade you guys can take is if we push up here, we tag the upper OSR or the S1, and then we're going to be trading an OSR or S1 reversal. The DAX is likely to go down here, guys. The DAX is likely to go down, and then we're going to pick up a long range.
This is the volume on FDAX too. If you can hear me now.
Dan, nice work. MJ, you might want to do exactly what Dan is doing, only because he's getting more points than you are out of the same trade. Volume codes is already low. Wow. Let me just, guys, I'm just going to try and see if I can hear Cody, because if I can't hear Cody, aha. If I can't hear Cody, I can't hear anyone. I'm not going to reset my sound devices, because you know what that's going to do. That means I can't hear anybody. Hold on one sec. Okay. All right, so I might be, Codes, you might just have to message me at this point in time. So I apologize for that. Now, guys, I'm expecting, so the 20 past candle here, so note please, the 20 past candle is pushed up towards the OSR and failed. So we would be, well, I mean, we're looking for shorts everywhere, guys, but just so happens on FDAX, we can't go short. We're assuming a close over a pivot. Now, I know, guys, on the 20 past OSR style candle here, these guys just don't care. They just mow down pivots every single day. So if I do have an FDAX trader that is short, I want you to try and target 290, please, as a 30-point trade. So that's 3 4s are 12, guys. That's 1,200 Aussie dollars if you're short on just one contract by itself, right? I reckon that long-range target is going to get absolutely annihilated, and then we'll look for, guys, we'll look for more evidence from the market as to what it's ultimately doing. Okay, now, for the NASDAQ traders, again, we didn't get a delta long. Nice, we didn't get a delta long. Let's just see what these guys are doing, because it looks like the American markets. Steve Hilbert, mate, what do you see here? Guys, I have a sneaking suspicion we are going to get selling signals. Nice. We may get selling signals on the S&P, which will be very short-lived. Or the other way we're going to interpret this is these little deltas over here. So these deltas over here on NASDAQ, if we get a really lovely sell down, guys, on the NASDAQ and the sellers get belted, that delta long, okay, now we were speaking about this one earlier, that little delta long is at 837. So the best way to trade that, guys, the best way to trade that, we're in the last 90 seconds. I'd wait for this candle to close. Ideally, we're going to get a lower low. Ideally, we'll get a lower low, guys. On the next candle, comes back through and picks up the buy orders. Now, there's 2 buying orders or 2 buying positions that I would be focused on. Those 2 little black diamonds there. Don't just push the button now thinking these guys are running without you. What we're looking for is the FDAX is going to go to that long range target of 290. FDAX, you know exactly what to do, please. Go down to 290. What we're then going to do, guys, I'm looking for the NASDAQ to create a lower low or a double bottom on the next candle. And then we're looking to try and go long. Now, at the moment, we've got very, very strong selling candles on both NASDAQ and S&P. So for those that want to go short, all right, so if we've got traders out there in the world that want to go short, first things first, we can't close above that 50 fib. Second thing, we need the buyers to push up, first fail, and then come down. and we need this to be an efficient candle, right? So there's got to be a number over the top of the candle, firstly, to say, yes, there's institutional agreement with what you're doing, which there is. So guys, we need to go short on the NASDAQ. We must have the buyers show first before the sellers. At the moment, I've got no buyers. So what that means is instead we're looking for the sellers to sell down, all right, create a really, really good lower low. And then we're looking to grab that lower delta, guys, at 837.75. So if you are a delta trader, 60-minute ABC reversal. Okay, perfect. All right, mate, I'll come back to that in a sec. So if you are a delta trader, guys, on NASDAQ, you're looking for an entry, guys, no higher than 838, please. No higher than 838. The risk control point on this trade is here. So if you do trade deltas, guys, with lower lows, if you do that, we are looking for a long. At this point in time, guys, the little black line is the risk control point for the long. FDAX has obviously gone way beyond where it needs to go. Guys, if you were a long range target trader. Okay, NASDAQ is very angry, guys, very, very, very angry. A little bit old contract. Okay, we might be switching. We won't switch back, guys. We won't switch back. Note, guys, note please that the failure at the European OSR to the high side now means that everybody's selling down. Okay, so what does it ultimately mean? Guys, if you are a static candle trader, so you're going to wait for the candle to close before you take a trade, then we're waiting for these candles to count down to 0. I got no buying, guys, before this selling came in, so I didn't want to join the sellers. We're just looking for evidence that the sellers are going to run out of steam so we can then buy. FDAX at this stage, Cole, okay, just let me do this. Cole is on the delta long. Now, I'm just watching very, very closely what these guys are doing. As for the 76 Fibonacci traders, only if the buyers fail at this 88.6 down here on NASDAQ, only now would we be putting an order over the top of the 76ers. If they keep going, as we're looking at a far longer, far larger move. Some of you, like young Remy in WA, you like the 88.6 Fibonacci as a potential entry point. I'd be careful, guys, on NASDAQ. I'd be looking for an entry point over the top of the 76ers as a little bit of a cautionary entry. For the experienced traders, if you're long over the 88.6, then a sort of 16 to 18 tick risk control point would be valid because we don't know yet if the market is reversing. For those that want to be super careful, you're going to wait for the candle to close and then take a trade. That's 1 minute and 49 seconds away. This S&P, guys, looks really angry. Okay, so let me just get rid of these. Let me just get rid of these for a moment. Okay, I would suggest at this stage, guys, I would suggest at this stage for the junior traders, I would wait for a black diamond delta long to confirm that there's other people around the world that want to buy the market. I note that both American markets, guys, appear to be sitting at these 60-minute chart 76s. If we get much below this, guys, if we get much below this, we're looking for a reversal down here. So that's a fair innings. That's a fair innings to the downside. For the FDAX traders, just watching here, guys, just watching. For the FDAX traders, you don't have another trade at this stage. I've got the buyers owning the stair step. The only trade I can give you on FDAX, guys, and it won't be in this candle, it'll be in the new candle, is that delta long. Okay, that's the only thing I can give you. Now, at this stage, as the NASDAQ may be moving outside this Fibonacci retracement level. Okay, so therefore we are in a far larger move. It means we can go for far larger targets. It means we've just got to be very, very careful. As that'll be a negative for coal on the delta, right? So I'll mark that up accordingly. What it means, guys, what it means is we're now waiting for both US markets. Both US markets need to give us equal signals. Okay, right. So we've had a negative on the delta and a negative on the delta. Okay, I'll mark it up accordingly. So guys, what we'll do, if you've had a negative trade on the NASDAQ, what we're going to do is we are going to wait for a dual chart trade. So both S&P and NASDAQ to agree with each other. And then we are going to go and get, so if you've had a negative trade, guys, we'll just go and get it back effectively. That's all we're going to do. Now, for the NQ gap short, okay. Well, no, there's nothing wrong if you've gone short because they gap down. I was looking for buyers to show before we went short. They literally didn't show. I'm just trying to work out what they've done here. So, boom. Okay. All right. So we'll just let them settle, guys. If you've had a negative trade, all right, if you have a negative trade, we'll just go and get it back again. So what we're going to do is if you had a negative, we'll just go for exactly that target. So FDAX buyers own the stair step, right? The selling delta, oh, sorry, a little bit late. The selling delta and the static bar reversal are tradable for the FDAX traders. Guys, I'm a little bit late. I was watching the NASDAQ. If you've waited for the buyers to push up over the top, guys, of that delta there, or this static bar reversal, or that delta there, you can be short on the FDAX. Okay, you can be short on the FDAX. You've got 3 potential entries because the buyers still own the stair step. You've got the delta there, the static bar reversal there. So I was late in calling both of those trades, guys. But if you are short on the static bar reversal or the delta, well done. If you do want to go short on this lower delta here, guys, this one right here at 902, the buyers must get above 902. Again, you'd be looking for the standard. Guys, you'd be looking back. Well done. You'd be looking for the standard 5-point risk control and then a longer range target. Now, with the buyers, guys, with the buyers here on the FDAX failing very badly, we are likely to see this candle sell down again. The moment it gets anywhere near this black line, guys, the moment it gets anywhere near that black line, guys, the sellers will own the stair step. In fact, they're going to do it here potentially as well. So let's just keep an eye on that one. Now, with all of that said, for the NASDAQ traders, if you trade climactic reversals, this delta is just valid. What I would prefer is that we get matching signals on both US markets simultaneously, guys, and then we go for a really large target, right? That's what I would prefer. Now, what does that ultimately mean? We've got a climactic candle, guys, cruising down here. It has got a 1 strength rating over the top of it, right? That normally means that we're going to need at least 1 candle to turn the market and reverse it and send back the other way. Beck, well done. No, I'd suggest, guys, Beck might have been short off the 50 fib of the day. And if so, that is a massive trade. So Beck, well done. Massive, massive, massive well done to you. So for the delta traders on NASDAQ, right, the deltas are valid provided you can carry the risk. What I would suggest is that we're better off waiting for both US markets to give us a reversal signal. And then what we're going to do, guys, if you've had a negative trade on NASDAQ, then what we're going to do is we're going to set targets to go and get all of that back again. Okay, so thank you, Beck. Appreciate that. Now, do I have any NASDAQ traders that are long, guys, on either of these black diamond deltas? Right, is anybody long on either of those? Now, if anybody had a negative trade over here, if you have gone long, please go and get your loss back. All right. Now, what we're going to do is what we're going to do for everybody else. We're going to wait for the candle to close. I'll wait for the candle to close. Ken, well done. So we are going to wait for the candle to close. I'm going to give you a counter Fibonacci. Okay, perfect. So what we can do, guys, what we can do on NASDAQ is we can wait for the sellers in the new candle to ideally sell down to this bottom delta. That would be in a perfect world. They sell down here. what we want them to do is sell down, get just below the delta, pick it up, and then ultimately run. Now, the S&P 500 traders, okay, so they're going to be a little bit jumpy, guys. They're going to be a little bit jumpy. If you are a delta trader, both of these black diamond deltas are valid.
News announcement, Lockie.
Right, now, if I was going to go long on the NASDAQ, guys, what I would do is try and enter on either one of the deltas. I would have a 20 tick first target. I'd have a 20 tick first target, guys, and then I'd go for at least 100 or a lot more. Okay, 100 or a lot more than that. Okay, so let's just watch what they do. Guys, watch what they do. It doesn't. So Europe's not jumping, guys. I'm just seeing if this is news. So the twitching in the market. Everybody's not twitching though. Hang on. They might be twitching. Let me just have a look. Guys, we've got red flag. Our first red flag news is not till 8 p.m. tonight, guys, unless the news forecast has changed. Let me just double check. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that one, mate. Yeah, don't worry about that one. Yeah, no, that's okay. Okay, so at this point in time, guys, if you're long on this delta here on NASDAQ, right, if you're long on that one, how I would personally pull that trade apart is I would go for a 20 tick first target. I'm going to give you a box so we know exactly how far that is. So I go for a 20 tick first target. Guys, I would then bring my stop positive, so I can't lose any money. And then I would, if I'd had a negative trade and it was, say, a 70 or a 90, I'd go for 70 or 90 on my second target. Now, if the sellers do sell down here, guys, and get below the delta for a second time, right, so again, you'd want them to come down, ideally push lower than what they did last time. Okay, ideally, we want them lower or similar to what they did last time. Europe is selling, so we're going to have to be really, really careful with this little NASDAQ. Just really, really careful we don't get on the wrong side of it. Okay. For the FDAX traders, guys, I do apologize. That delta and that static bar reversal are all tradable. Right, so if you've waited for the high to push up here and you've gone short again, then that delta up here, the static bar reversal, and that delta, there's three selling signals we were talking about on the previous candle. Guys, they're all tradable to the downside because the buyers still own the stair step. Now, the sellers are about to touch this black line. Now the sellers own the stair step. Guys, we're looking where now the sellers own the stair step. Guys, we're looking for buying-based reversals on the European markets. Okay, so again, if you are short, guys, if you are short on the delta, the SBR, or the higher delta, so there's obviously three signals hiding in there. If you're short on any of those, then they've gone really, really well. Okay, now I tried to make sure that everybody knew they were there. For the experienced FDAX traders, you know that they're there. Okay, now at this stage, guys, again, this is going to affect everybody globally. If the FDAX starts to push down towards its S2, guys, we're looking for an S2 reversal, provided it occurs in the next candle. We're a little bit late in this particular candle. So what I would suggest has occurred, in fact, we're about to close, guys, we're about to close under the OSR on Europe. Okay, so that means for the FDAX traders, if we do close underneath the lower OSR, it means you're going to pick up a really powerful short. As it means for the American markets, we can't go long unless they get pushed back inside the OSR. See these guys in this massive wrestle over here on FDAX. If we get pushed back inside the OSR, we're looking for longs on FDAX, guys. If we get stuck under the OSR, we're looking for shorts. If we close under and then gap over, then these guys are going to probably go long and the NASDAQ is going to respond accordingly. Okay, now I took my eye off the NASDAQ, guys, for a moment when I was on the FDAX. So my guidance to everybody, if you got a lower low, guys, right, here comes the lower low, right? If you've got a lower low, we're not going to go long on the NASDAQ in the last 90 seconds of the candle. As what we really need at this point in time with this candle currently where it is. So let me get rid of that for a moment. So it'd be really good if this candle freezes They then sell down, create a lower low, get caught on these 76s, and we're going to hit that delta there, guys, that little black diamond delta. We're going to hit that long, guys, for a 20 and whatever we can get our hands on. I need to see a lower low, guys, on the NASDAQ. Okay, I haven't got that yet. FESX into the S2. Perfect. Okay, so at this stage, the Europeans have closed under the OSR, guys. It means they're normally going to sell down to a pivot, which is down here. For the FDAX traders, if they do sell down, I don't want to send you short because the risk on the short is too much. If we do sell down and get caught on the 76s, we're going to go long going the other way on this delta here, that little black diamond delta there. At the moment, what's probably going to happen, guys, the buyers will push up. They'll try and get back into the OSR on FDAX, and they should get slammed. If they don't get slammed in 4 minutes, we're looking for a really lovely buying signal, guys, on FDAX, and we're going to take it all the way back to the OSR. And that means the NASDAQ traders are going for massive targets. Now, if anybody, Remy, well done. If anybody is long on the NASDAQ on either one of these deltas, right? Either this one here or this one here. If you're long, guys, I want you to go for 20 ticks, cut your risk off on your long range target, and then go for whatever you can get your hands on. Now, at this point in time, I would expect these traders to normally try and push back to a minimum of the S1. Low, okay, mate, waiting for a lower low. There's nothing wrong with that. So again, we're going to get a ton of trades today, guys. So the beauty of getting a ton of trades is everybody can be selective about what they do. Okay, everybody can be selective. We're not doing, so to speak, we're not doing the dance of the desperate. All right, that there is the 50 fib of the micro trend. We've got to be very, very careful of that one there. Okay, so let me get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. All right, now, if you are long, guys, if you are long on either of the deltas, some of you are waiting for a lower low, which is my preference. If you are long, guys, on the lower one, you've at least gone through your 20 tick target. Right? You've gone through 20s and 50s. If you're on the higher one, you've only gone through 20s, and then they've taken your long range target out. If we were to get a nice strong candle down here, guys, on the S&P, like a nice strong buying candle on both S&P and NASDAQ, we're highly likely to get a really nice move. FDAX, guys, if we get back inside, I'd look at this S2 down here on FESX. Okay, absolutely brilliant for the person who mentioned that. So at this stage, guys, the FDAX is not going to sell down because of the FESX. So if we do close, guys, if we do close back inside the OSR and the 50 of the day on the FDAX in 2 minutes time, then we're looking at effectively going long. As that little delta over there on the left-hand side would be absolutely hilarious. All right, see that black diamond there? So if we were to close over the 50 fib, guys, if we close over the 50 fib, then the sellers sell down, touch the lower OSR, get anywhere near it, and then get bought back. Then we're looking for that delta long, or this green candle may end up being a static bar reversal long. Okay, now at this stage, the buyers have not taken control of the NASDAQ properly. Guys, they haven't taken control properly. Let me just double check what they're doing. Okay, let's see how strong the buyers are. All right, so over here on the left-hand side, guys, the buyers are relatively strong at this point in time. What they've got to do is, it suggests the buyers have got to get back over that blue Fibonacci on the NASDAQ there. Now, guys, what we're looking for, guys, on all markets, as all markets turn simultaneously, is long-range profit targets to the high side, please. All right, so long-range profits to the high side. I would suggest for the NASDAQ, guys, there's going to be two ports of call. Now, we don't just push the button to get in, guys. We've got to get a valid buy signal. But the first port of call is going to be here. right? The second port of call is going to be up here. And then ultimately we're just waiting. There could be a turn of the hour trade coming. As we could be looking first candle of the big CC. I am. Hang on, mate. Just wait, Daniel. Just wait one. FDAX. We wanted you guys to close over the top of the 50 of the day. Okay, you have not closed over the 50 of the day. Oh, your volume, FDAX, is shocking. your volume's down into the hundreds. Okay, let me just watch here. So the NASDAQ, guys, has basically gone to sleep, and that's because the buyers were very strong on the candle, then they just peeled away to absolutely nothing. Cole, I would love a 15-minute chart static bar reversal, particularly on the S&P 500. That would be amazing. So let's just see what these guys are doing. Let's see what they're doing. Now, again, that could be the Fibonacci that they're rolling with. I was literally just over the dominant little candle just here. And if they get anywhere near this 90%, let's see what these guys are doing here. Are they doing the same thing? Let's have a look. Let's have a quick look. What are they doing? Okay. We can't seem to die at this time every day now, then picks up before. Yes. Yeah, absolutely, Dan. Spot on the mark. So, guys, at this stage, the FDAX volume has got quite low. So for those people that don't know, we use a volume filter on the markets to make sure that we're not basically getting into something we don't want to get into. At the moment, guys, I was late calling some of the FDAX trades, but you guys have had at least... Look, at least 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how you pull the market apart. We had a beautiful higher high, the delta and the static bar reversal and the delta. Then we had a higher high. They've basically gone and paid those multiple times. I'm not going to count them all as winning trades, but suffice to say they've gone well over their target for the FDAX traders. Now, for the NASDAQ, guys, and S&P, we're really looking for lower lows now. We're looking for the sellers to sell down, give us a lower low, prove they're failing. We're looking for the personality to come back into the market. Now, I do believe for the DAX traders, we'll get a lift in volume and we'll get some personality back. Either they're going to sell down, tag the S2, and then come back around and give us a reversal long, or the sellers are going to push down, touch the 76, get pushed back inside the 50 of the day, and then we might pick up a long. Now, we're very quickly moving towards the last 15 minutes. Okay, Cole, there is the lower low on the NASDAQ, right? So we have a lower low on the NASDAQ. If you are a Fibonacci-based trader, then we've got the lower low that's pushed down to the 78.6. Some of you will use that as an opportunity to go long. If you are going to go long, guys, please make sure that you've got a 20-tick first risk. You could use a 20-tick risk control point. Guys, you don't have to have a 20-tick target, but you can use a 20-tick risk control point. And if this is the final failure of the sellers, then it is going to produce potentially a really lovely move back to both of these black lines. I note, though, we've kind of lost all of our personality in the market. So again, for those that are being really careful, on the American markets, well, wait for static entries. So wait for the candle to close. You're looking at effectively static bar reversals long. We need the ratios here to correct. Because what we don't want is to get on the wrong side of an angry market. Okay, we don't want to do that. Yeah, Steve, you're on the money, mate. Yeah, I was looking at that before. So, guys, we're stuck So what Steve is saying is on the money. We're stuck inside this 4-hour candle here. So again, what is most likely to occur? Stuck inside a 4-hour candle like this. What is most likely to occur is they're going to retrace down to a Fibonacci created by this 4-hour candle, which I'll put on for you now. They're likely to cruise down. They're going to try and test the lowest Fibonacci's, which is the 88.6 and the 90, which is what they're currently testing or trying to test. They're going to come down here. They're going to test these a second time. The sellers are likely to fail, and then they're going to turn around and go back the other way and go back the other way aggressively. That is likely to be a turn of the hour trade. It's likely to be a turn of the hour trade. Okay. Now, so again, turn of the hour, guys, if you're not aware of that, normally on the turn of the hour, which is 15 minutes away, we normally pick up a really, really lovely trade. It's a really, really, really lovely trade. So we might be waiting for that. For the static traders, we don't have a trade for you guys yet. So that's those people that are hunting super, super, super high probability trades. Right? We don't have that trade yet. I think that'll come on the turn of the hour. For the FDAXs, your volume is very low. 21788. Mate, we could do these guys could head all the way down here, as Steve is suggesting. They could head all the way down here. If they break that level, we're going to end up with massive shorts. If they can't break the level, we're going to end up with really, really lovely longs. Right now, in the last 15 minutes, basically most of the traders are trying to work out what these guys are doing. Now, for the FDAX, it looks like just downside. Okay, so the FESX has moved outside its OSR. If the FDAX goes to the FESX down the bottom here, if they close under their pre-bottom, basically Europe is going to try and drag everybody to the downside. Okay, Europe's going to try and drag everybody down. At this stage, though, we've got to wait for the candle to close to ultimately determine whether that's going to be the case. Okay, so we don't know yet what they're going to do. We'll just let the candle close. That's the easiest way to determine that. And then we will head for a long. I would suggest for the FDAX, the next most reliable trade for you guys, so we didn't meet the conditions for that one. The next most reliable trade will be an S2 reversal. It's probably going to occur very, very close to the turn of the hour. Yeah, Ken, we've got volume dropping everywhere. It's a great observation, mate, because when the volume drops, it means that people are not confident in the direction the market is moving. So they start pulling volume out of the market because they don't want to join. Now, a drop in volume is quite often a hint that the market is about to turn. All right, so if these sellers are not absolutely thumping to the downside, then you're going to see the buyers come in and say, I think we've got you guys sorted here. Now, look at what we're getting here on both S&P 500 and NASDAQ simultaneously. So let's have a look. Okay. Let's watch very, very closely. Where are we at time-wise? So we're firmly in the last 15 minutes. So we've got some really big traders globally putting trades on above these 76 fibs. At this stage, guys, for the really, really careful NASDAQ traders, you would be waiting for static bar reversals long, guys, on both markets simultaneously. FDAX, you're looking for a pivot-based reversal. Just be very aware you're in your last 90 seconds. So we're not going to take a trade. Secondly, if the FESX, guys, closes below the pre-bottom, guys, so if the FESX closes below its pre-bottom, which it looks very, very, very likely to do at this stage, if we close below the pre-bottom, we're not going to go long on the FDAX, please. Now, again, 36 seconds. Note the personality of the market is changing quite quickly. So FESX, guys, if we close below the pre-bottom for the FDAX traders, you can't go long. Okay, can't go long. S&P is going to try and create a static bar reversal long. Nasdaq's about to do a static bar reversal long. Again, if you are a static chart trader, static chart trader, the Nasdaq guys, they must sell down first before you buy. Right? They must sell down first before you buy. Your entry point, guys, is above the candle. We are in the last 15 minutes. Right? We are in the last 15 minutes. Your risk control point is 20 ticks. I need to look at where the S&P 500 is in relation to its micro 50. Okay, the S&P 500, guys, is directly into its micro 50 fib. All right, now what that ultimately means is that the Nasdaq is probably going to try and go itself, right? It doesn't have the support of the S&P until the S&P gets over the top of that 50 fib. So if the S&P starts pushing above the 50 fib, which is a really powerful level, then the Nasdaq is likely to move. Okay. If the S&P pushes into this 50 fib a number of times, it's not going to move. Dan, I would, the turn of the hour trade is more powerful. And we also know that in the last 15 minutes, which I think I mentioned 4 or 5 times, the signal success rate doesn't drop, but the 60-minute chart traders start coming in going, I wonder what we're going to do with the market. Okay, now for the S&P 500, okay, so again, it will be all about a 60-minute chart Fibonacci. At this stage, it looks like the 60-minute chart traders are failing at a 60-minute chart fib. All right, so it would appear that these Fibonacci's are holding. Now, at this point in time, if this candle was orange, so if this candle was climactic, then this would be absolutely amazing foundation to go the other way, right? An amazing foundation. At this point in time, it's not climactic. Its chances of going climactic are close to zero. So this would suggest, guys, this 60-minute candle would suggest with 7 minutes to go, that the sellers have got control of both American markets. Now, that means that the short range long trades are probably going to go okay. On the turn of the hour, if we were to sell down, so let's say this 60-minute chart candle was to close like this. On the next 60-minute candle, they turn down, basically fail at the Fibonacci. We're going to pick up a much faster moving reversal signal that typically goes significantly further. All right, so you're better off waiting for the turn of the hour. Can you just hold on one sec, please? What we're highly likely to get on the turn of the hour is a far faster moving, far longer range profit. Far longer range profit. Because at the moment, these guys are tinkering along. Mathematically, the signals are valid. There's no question about that. If you get in the last 15 minutes, what is likely to occur is if you get in before the hour's turn and then they just bolt, you've got in early. But what will normally occur is they'll push up. They'll quite happily trigger ATMs and similar things. On the turn of the hour, they'll come back down, fail at these areas, particularly this green Fibonacci here, right? That 90. So they could sell back down again, scare you before then turning around and setting up a massive long. So the turn of the hour, man, if we get it, now there's no guarantee we're going to get the trade, but if we do get the turn of the hour trade, it's a lot safer than trading the last 15 minutes. A lot safer. Well, that's what I do, man. That's what I would do. Now, again, guys, a number of the traders have already gone because they're over their goals. If you need another, now obviously NASDAQ, we've had a losing trade, so we've got to go and get that back. For the FDAX traders, your next trade will be the turn of the hour trade. You're looking for the sellers to sell down, push down through the S2 for an S2 reversal. If they don't get down through the S2, you're looking for the sellers to push down, give you a lower low or a match low. They can match the bottom of the green candle. And then you're looking for a 76 reversal long. As ideally, you'd be going long to the lower OSR there. If this candle closes inside the lower OSR, then we would be looking for the sellers to push down, and we'd be going long over the top of the candle and trying to push it to the high, to the higher OSR, the upper OSR, which is up here. Okay, so at this point in time, as it looks like the sellers are losing the plot globally. Let's have a look at the NASDAQ 60-minute chart. Okay, so very key levels, guys, on the 60-minute chart. If the NASDAQ sellers close below the low of the previous 60-minute chart, which is just there at 817.25, so let's have a look. Look at that. It's exactly what they're arguing about, 817.25. If we close below that level, guys, we're likely to see the sellers push down first, and then the buyers will come in. Okay, now we're not closing for 4 minutes and 35 seconds, so a lot can change. This 60-minute candle, guys, is nowhere near climactic. This is a very strong statement by the sellers that they're going to go further to the downside, right? So let's say that assumption is correct. We've got no pivots to catch these guys at, except the S2. Okay, so let's have a look on the S&P. The S&P's also, guys, the S&P's got no pivots either, except the S2. So I would suggest at this point in time, I have a 250 from NQ OSR. Okay. So what I'd suggest at this point in time, guys, is these sellers, this is why we're really careful in the last 15 minutes. These sellers are likely to get really angry until we get to a major level. Okay, so that means I'm going to have to start stripping Fibonacci's off. That can go. Okay, that one can go. Okay, these are the Fibonacci's we had on before. Okay, so I'd suggest at this stage, guys, for the American-based traders, we're looking for both American markets to fail at the same Fibonacci. Okay, we may be tighter. Why is it may be tighter? It may be this one here. Okay, so we're starting to get climactic volume. So these sellers are using a very large amount of volume on both markets. Guys, I'm going to get rid of that Fibonacci there. Okay, the FDAX has just come down, given us a lower low and given us an S2 reversal right when we can't take it. You got to be kidding. So again, guys, to brief you in, we've got 2 minutes until the turn of the hour. Ultimately, what we're looking for, FDAX, again, I was looking for a lower low in order to push off the S2, or as a backup trade, we touch the 88.6, we go long over the 76.8. If these buyers were to push us back up into the OSR, guys, then we're going to wait for the sellers to push down, then we're going to grab a long signal. At this stage, I'm happy to take a 76 fib reversal, guys, but I need the sellers to sell down inside the new hour. If this current candle closes like it is, particularly with a black diamond delta at the top of it, it's going to be a static bar reversal long. So again, I want the sellers to show down in the new hour, fail, and pick up that delta. That would be my favorite trade in 1 minute and 4 seconds. Or an S2 reversal. What we need is we need the sellers to sell down inside the new hour, fail, and then pick up the buy order at 266. Okay, now for the NASDAQ, you guys, apart from this 4-hour Fibonacci, you guys are literally just out the middle of nowhere. That makes my job very, very difficult. It's very difficult. So again, I think I've got agreement. From the S&P. It's a little bit off. What are you guys doing with your Fibonacci's? I'd suggest that Fibonacci is correct. Can't run a Fibonacci from there because they're all already outside the trading zone. Okay, so what we need is what we need. So for the Nasdaq traders, again, we've obviously got failure at this 88.6 fib. There's no question about that. So what we need in the new hour, okay, which looks like it's just kicked off prematurely. So just let these clocks sink in with each other. Is I would love the sellers to sell down first and then produce a buying signal going the other way. That's what I would prefer. I haven't got that. Okay, now for the FDAX. So Nazi, I really want to see the sellers sell down first. MJ. You say 10-point gap. Is that on NASDAQ? NASDAQ? FDAX. Now let's have a look. 251. I've got 251 to 257. All right, 251 to 257. So I've got a 6-point gap from the bottom of that one to the top of that one. The other FDAX traders, have you got a 10-point gap, guys, or a 6-point gap? I think I've got a 6-point gap from the bottom of the red to the top of the green. Is 6? Okay, 6. All right. Okay. Now, NASDAQ is making my job very difficult today. It's very, very, very difficult. FDAX, I'm still looking for a sell down, guys. I'm looking for a sell down that fails at Fibonacci so I can go long over the top of the 76s. That delta, guys, at 265 is tradable long on the FDAX for a 270 target. All right, so the 265 is tradable. Now, we knew the NASDAQ was going to turn. Let's look at this. This is obviously the difference in the turn of the hour, isn't it? Now, what it means, FDAX, if you're long at 265, your first target's 270. What we've got here, guys, on NASDAQ is we've got a myriad of reversal deltas, right? So climactic candle basically failed on the turn of the hour. They've just turned and run back the other way. If anybody is long on any of these deltas, guys, and you had a losing trade before, please go for everything you lost plus more. Okay. Is anybody long, guys, on the delta? FDAX, if you are long at 265, your first target is 270 and you are out. When it's 270, you're out if you're long on the FDAX. Is anybody long, guys, on any of the NASDAQ buying deltas? So coal is not long. That's all right. That's all right. If you are long, guys, because of a climactic reversal, I was looking for the sellers to show before the buyers came in. As it turns out, the buyers just went nuts, right? So Andy is long. Have I got any FDAX traders that are long on the delta at 265? All right, now if you are long on the delta at 265, right, your first target is 270, your second target is 275. Okay, now the market is a little bit difficult for us today, guys, primarily probably because of contract rollover. Right, now, mind you, if you're long on the delta, right, so let me borrow this little circle. If you're long on that delta there, guys, if you are a delta trader, you saw the sellers come down and you went long, guys, then you've done okay. Some of you are waiting for a lower low. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You've just got to make sure that some days the market just doesn't give you the lower low. You get a little flash of selling in the candle like this and they go, you know what, we're done. And they just start buying. I was waiting to the low. Yep, mate, I get it. I get it. Now, again, guys, it doesn't mean that's not the end of it, because what it means, if the FDAX gets back inside its OSR, right, then the FDAX traders are likely to pick up a long that goes all the way to the top or the upper OSR, which is a long way. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. It's a 55-point trade. It's a very large trade. Again, for that to occur, we would want the FESX to get back inside its S2. Again, we do the same combination, guys. If 5-point target, then whatever you can get your hands on. So I've got a couple of people that are long on NASDAQ and a couple of people that are not long on NASDAQ. Okay, so what we want is 4-point turning bars. As now we are going to get a 4-point turning bar on the S&P 500. We're going to get a 4-point turning bar on, we won't get one on the NASDAQ, guys. It's going to be very, very close. So the only way you can trade the NASDAQ is S&P 500. Let me just double check the S&P. S&P is going to give us a 4-point turning bar. As again, the sellers must retrace. The sellers must retrace before you then buy over the top of the candle. Now for the NASDAQ, that candle has got a lot of risk. Okay, so the only way the NASDAQ traders can take a trade is draw a Fibonacci up the candle to catch them on the way down. If they retrace down and very, very obviously fail at a Fibonacci, then you would be looking to grab a black diamond delta long. Now, at the moment, I don't have a structured Fibonacci retrace. All right, so I don't have one at this stage. So I don't have one at this stage. I'm looking for the sellers to sell down, tag one of those Fibonaccis. Oh, Cole, if we got a lower low, that'd be incredible. But with a 4-point turning bar on the S&P 500, we are unlikely to get that. We're just unlikely to get it. So you'll find that these guys might wander down. As for the Nazi traders, again, the risk behind the candle's too much. So the only thing we can do is wait for a retrace, wait for a very obvious rejection of the sellers by the buyers. Okay, so they're still doing a recon to find out where the buyers are going to support the candle. So again, it would be amazing if we got a retrace down around this 50 fib. Okay, they're starting to wrestle at that 38 Fibonacci. All right, let's see what they're doing. Okay, just let them do what they're doing. FDAX, what did you get? 1, 2, sellers still own the stair step. So at this stage for the FDAX traders, we're looking for a lower low, which we're highly likely to get. Yeah, Andy, it makes it very predictable, mate. It makes it, I mean, this is probably one of the biggest shifts we're going to make. Again, we were going okay. We're going okay. I think we're doing amazingly. This is going to make a very big difference. So it's literally like fitting a turbocharger to the car that is already winning the races. You guys remember when they introduced Nissan GTRs to the Bathurst, the Tooheys 1000? That was the Bathurst 1000 race. And after 2 years of having the GTRs, they banned them because the V8s couldn't keep up. Dear. So what we've actually got our hands on is basically the GTR of car racing, if you're into cars. Whereas we used to religiously watch Mount Panorama every single year from start to finish. It was quite a, if you're a car ahead, the new engine Holden made. No, MJ, the Nissan GTR got banned because the first year round they won by 4 laps, and the second year round they won by 6 laps. So basically, Holden Ford said you need to ban the Nissan GTRs. Well, oh, there's the rejection. You need to ban the GTRs because we can't keep up with them. Okay, what's happened, guys, on the NASDAQ? We've got a retracement to the 68-point fib, which is actually a very, very strong Fibonacci, guys, if you understand how the golden ratio works. FDAX, your lower low allows you to take the deltas again. And guys, for the NASDAQ, we got a structured retrace, and then it's come back through and picked up all the buying deltas. So if you are long on NASDAQ, guys, if you are long on NASDAQ after we got the retrace and the rejection, you're looking for a 20-tick first target, and then you're going to go for as much as you can get your hands on. For the FDAXs, you've got a lower low. They bought off the 76s. You may have picked up the delta again. If the FDAX closes inside the lower OSR, then the FDAX traders can try and go for the upper OSR. It means that the NASDAQ traders are probably going to get carried off the back of Europe. So we've just got to keep an eye on what these lower OSRs do here. If the FDAX closes back inside, okay, what's this little FESX doing? Okay. I would suggest the NASDAQ is going to try and go a little bit further than where it is right now. The S&P 500 is obviously trying to help as well. So, guys, depending on how you trade, right? Depending on how you trade, right? We've had our retrace and we've had our rejection. What it ultimately means, FDAX traders, if you're long on the delta, try and hold it for longer range targets. If you picked up, guys, on the NASDAQ, if you picked up any of these deltas, there's basically 4 of them just there. Any of those buying deltas, once the sellers came down and retraced back, you saw the retrace was quite quick. If you picked up any of those, guys, you're looking for a 20-tick first target and risk control point, and then you're going to try and trade back to this level here. Guys, now the S1 may get in the way. Okay, Dan, you didn't get picked up. Okay, that's all right. We'll wait for the next trade. Do I have any FDAX traders who waited for the lower low and then took the deltas long? Okay, if you did take the delta long, guys, you're looking for a 5-point. Andy, well done. You're looking for a 5-point first target, 10-point second target. Then you're looking for, ideally, there's 2 long-range targets on the FDAX. That's the first long-range target there. And then the second target is obviously the upper OSR. Guys, everyone is likely, all these markets are likely now to just grind, right? Grind to the high side. Ken, you're practicing long-range targets. Well done. What does it mean, guys? If you're not in a long trade on the NASDAQ already, guys, so some people have been skipped on the order, we'll just wait for another valid trade. Okay, now that being said, if you are long, we're going to try and hold it. For the NASDAQ, we're going to try and hold it to a minimum of the S1. Highly likely it's going to go up here. As now, the only opposition to the FDAX, Andy, the only opposition to the FDAX is the FESX coming back into its OSR. So the FDAX at the moment, guys, from the lower delta is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It's touching 30 points, which is a massive FDAX trade. If the FESX can't get back inside its OSR, then that's going to affect the, okay, can you give me a number, babe? What do you, so hang on, so 200. Okay, so guys, I'm just, as Akito leaves the LTR, she picked up this delta here. Why is that delta there for a 30-tick trade? All right, so she waited for the sellers to push down, failed at the Fibonacci, then picked up that delta there. That delta there, she got that one for a 30-tick target. And then she just walked off. I am not, man, 100%. MJ, 100%. Fancy that. Andy, have you noticed that as well, mate? Andy Hain. So for the FDAX traders, and I'm actually really quite excited by this, because for the FDAX traders, we normally go 5 or 10 points a day and we're killing it, right? 5 or 10 points a day. At this point in time, if you waited for the lower low like we spoke about, then you grabbed the delta or you took the 76 fib trade, we're actually looking at a 35 to 40 point interim target. The long range target is up here. Guys, to put that into perspective, that's a 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. It's a 70-point trade. Andy, nice work, mate. 5 and 25. That's a beautiful trade. Now, the FDAX, guys, again, 1 minute and 13 seconds from now, 1 minute and 13 from now, if we get back inside the OSR on the FESX, guys, if we get back inside of that, the FDAX will go further. If we don't, we don't have to. 16, 31 and 50 on the NQ reversal. Petros, well done, mate. I was hoping that some NASDAQ traders got that. Okay, so well done. All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, for our YouTube trade, again, I always mention the losing trades. So we've had a loss on the NASDAQ. had a loss on the NASDAQ. Then we basically got very, very confused. Some of you have traded these deltas in here, guys, and if so, you just went for a 20 tick and a long range target, and they didn't go to long range targets. Some of you have managed to get picked up on this retrace and others didn't. Right, so what I'm going to do on our YouTube video today is talk about the fact that we were nailing these three deltas here. Some people got picked up, other people didn't. Well, so that's what I'm going to talk about. Try its hardest to swing short, but given we are referenced monthly 90%, the weekly candle could stay easily short. Well, I'm just reading Steve's comment there, guys, because it's always good fun. Andy, your 25-point target's looking very good now. Have a look at that. Now, guys, interesting point. Again, I was drawing your attention to the OSR on the FESX. Right, so at one point in time, we were pushing up into the OSR and the FDAX was running. Andy got paid a really lovely 25-point target. Then the FESX got pushed back down under its OSR and the 50 of the day, and the FDAX basically back around about 20 points. So as we came into the session, guys, we were talking about using the FESX as a reference chart for everything that we're doing. This sell down that's occurred on NASDAQ is 100% based on the FESX failing at its OSR, which is great because, again, guys, the more we can read these guys, the more we can take advantage of them, which is really good. What is likely to occur at this point in time? What time is it now? What's likely to occur at this point in time is we are likely to get either a little bit of a sell down, guys, a little bit of a sell down and a bounce. If the FDAX closes over the 50 fib, right, over the 50 fib of the day, and the FESX was to close, if the FESX closes back inside its OSR, then the FDAX will buy long, guys. It'll go to that black line, then it'll go to the upper OSR minus a little bit. I'm trying to grab the black line that's up there, but it doesn't want to. It'll go up here. All right, let me get rid of that. That is the upper OSR. That's why. So it'll probably go to around about here. That's ultimately where the FDAX is going to try and grind back to. And for those that love long-range targets, the FDAX has got to close a gap. Right, so it's highly likely, right, that the FDAX just keeps grinding. Andy, you've done well, mate. You've done well today. So again, that's a really lovely trade, mate. Well done, well done. Okay, so we're back into the OSR competition over here on the FESX. If we get back inside the range of that, guys, and over the 50 of the day, then both of the European markets are likely to grind to the high side. Okay, there is a longer range target sitting right there at 308. It's highly likely we move through that. This is obviously going to be, it's looking very much like a closing over key levels moment for the Europeans. Now, guys, for our NASDAQ traders, we're now looking for, again, dual market agreement. Okay, so we're looking for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ to agree with each other, because every time the buyers show they were really strong, really strong, we come straight back to the middle of the MDI right there and they get caught. Straight back to the middle and then they get caught. Same thing as the NASDAQ, goes straight back to the middle and it's been caught again. So. Guys, are there any questions at this point in time? So we've obviously had a losing trade on the NASDAQ. Guys, we've had potentially a series of winning trades depending on how you trade the market. If you were able to trade the deltas on the turn of the hour, absolutely brilliant. Guys, if you did get the retrace, absolutely brilliant. If you didn't, that's okay. We'll wait for another trade. FDAX today, you guys have had, look, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 very obvious winning trades. So you guys are 5 from 5 again on the FDAX. Again, so well done. That's a really lovely result. And the FDAX, as you can see, the FDAX is getting more and more predictable by the moment. let's just go and have a look at old contract versus new contract. Right, so we'll put this one back on the, I have to write it on. So let me write it on for you. So it'll be FDAX 06 of 25. As what I'm doing is I'm just confirming that the contract is definitely rolling. So the old contract is 3,631. The new contract is 4,200. So there's still a fair balance. Still a fair balance on the old contract, but it would appear that we're switching. Okay, so we've done the right thing. So well done, MJ, and I think Dan and a couple other people who switched early. Definitely, it looks like we're switching across. Okay. Now for everybody, guys, I say for the DAX traders, but naturally I'm referring to everybody. Our volume on DAX has dropped like to very low levels. I've got the FESX stuck outside of its OSR to the downside and the FDAX to the high side. So the FDAX is probably going to lose that one. Okay. Guys, any questions? Any questions at all? I'm just, as I do all the time, as I'm always looking for how could we do better or how could we have done better today? Just having a look, guys. Very difficult when the when the market is out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. So any observations on today, guys? Very, very open to observations. FDAX traders, you've had a very, very obvious, very easy day for the DAX traders. So a big well done. A big well done. I'm sitting, guys, at just over my middle KPI. So I'm happy with that. I'll come back tomorrow and do it all again. Okay, MJ, no, that's perfect. Okay, that's perfect. Craig, how are you? Do you want me to send you? Mate, what I've done is I've turned off the Zoom sound in the background, and somehow it's carried the sound across. So I turned it off in the virtual LTR and somehow it's carried it across. Not yet. No, MJ. No, I'm working with Craig on that one. So Craig, MJ's asking if the merchandise is ready to go, as in the members area. So I'll chase. We'll get it done, mate. We'll get it done. No, Diane, that is not normal. I've worked out what the problem was and I fixed it today and it was running well all day. So yeah, so no, all the sound is working perfectly in the virtual LTR, guys. And again, it'll be back up tonight, guys, bopping along. So if you do want to trade the US pre-market, US Open together, guys, and you're looking for someone to trade that with, just jump into the virtual LTR. The sound is all working. There won't be an FDAX chart, Diane, because normally we only trade the FDAX for this session, and then we switch our focus to the S&P and NASDAQ. Typically, the FDAX is only tradable for around about 5 hours anyway. Perfect. So MJ, we're on to the merchandise side of the house. We've just got a lot, as you can imagine, with OSRs and everything going on. We've got a lot going on in the background. That's okay. That's okay. So, guys, for Nazi, how could we have traded better today? Just having a look. I'm just having a look. This is a static bar reversal short. Guys, this one right here. So the buyers obviously took off. They stole the stair step. We could have taken a short there if we had a matching signal, which we did. We had a matching signal on both markets. Guys, so we could have actually taken another trade on the NASDAQ, that little static bar reversal short, and that would have ended up producing a very large winning trade. So guys, the lesson out of today is if you get matching signals, so you see we've got an SBR short on the S&P and an SBR short on the NASDAQ. As normally, if we get a matching signal, then the signal wins. So that classic principle of trade what you see, not what you think. That again, double static bar reversal short on both US markets normally produce a really lovely move, and they've occurred at the same time. So that's how we could have traded a bit better today. No question about that. If you have had a negative result today, guys, if you have a negative result, then we'll either get it back later tonight in the US pre-market or get it back tomorrow in the LTR. For FDAX, as I've said, guys, the FDAX traders, you just had 5 from 5 or 6 from 6 or 7 from 7, depending on how many times you entered the same delta. So well done. Perfect. So, guys, look, Arlen is about to come and say g'day again. I would suggest we're almost at that time. So, guys, any questions? Any questions at all? Any questions at all? I'm going to turn our cameras back on. So, if there's any questions, you can ask. Guys, you can ask. What I would suggest that the market's going to go quiet now. It's around about 90 or so minutes until the Europeans come back from lunch, and then I would suggest that it's actually going to become quite good fun. So if you have traded well today, guys, absolutely brilliant. I'll put in our YouTube video tonight that we were targeting these deltas, but for some traders it moved too quickly. We had Andy down in Melbourne. Andy down in Melbourne grabbed the reversal delta going back the other way. That's obviously produced a really good target. And I'll mention that we had a loss. Apart from that, guys, I can't pull any further information out of the markets. I do agree with Steve. I do think we're going to sell down a little bit further on the NASDAQ and S&P, and then we might end up with a really large reversal long. Guys, it might be off the back of that European news that is coming out at 8 p.m. tonight. If that news is very positive, I don't think it'll affect the American markets. It'll certainly affect the Great British Pound. There's no doubt about that one. So being British, high impact news, I would suggest it'll affect the Great British Pound as opposed to anybody else. Guys, any questions at all? I'm just cleaning up charts in the background now, just effectively getting everything ready for exactly the same thing tomorrow. So same thing over and over and over again. Steve, my absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. So no questions at all from anywhere out there in the world. Roger, I hope you're, guys. Roger, I hope you're getting better, mate. I hope you go. No, I'll say I hope the patient is getting better, Rog. Guys, note to self: if you ever get injured, and you're traveling overseas, just make sure you got really good travel insurance. Because from one of the traders in the room, guys, it would appear that getting injured overseas can be quite an expensive experience. Reinhard, thanks. It is better to wait. No, the contract. So the contract on FDAX will be fully rolled over by tomorrow. Yeah, so completely fully rolled over by tomorrow. So I wouldn't. At this stage, the volume is already under the new contract. So basically the rest of today, they'll flush out the old contract completely. So yeah, you wouldn't need to wait to next week. No, there'll be a couple of people trading the old contract tomorrow. Those people that have forgotten to roll over, but the most of the market is already changing. So great question. Yes, there is a volcano going off in Indonesia at the moment, guys, which complicates Bali. There's no question. Petros, you've had a good session, which is good. Good. Guys, so you see the market is not only is the volume dropping now, but the market is going really, really quiet, which is why this session runs for 90 minutes. Guys, FDAX, what have we got? We've got the FESX closing inside its OSR. The FDAX has done the same. So basically they're going to grind, guys, all the way up to the top here. So they're going to hit that black line of 334 very, very easily. Nice, there, boom, there they go right there. So for my FDAX, for the FDAX army, we've got to keep a very close eye on this OSR. All right, the moment that both FDAX and FESX close back inside the OSR, the FDAX is literally just going to run long-range targets. Now, the beauty of that, guys, you're looking at a 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40-point target, guys, which is fantasy stuff on the FDAX. So Arlen, thank you. We had a losing trade on the Nasdaq. I had a losing trade on the Nasdaq. We've already debriefed that. Then we had the opportunity for multiple wins, but some people didn't get filled because it moved quickly. S&P, we had 2 trades that went really, really well, and FDAX between 5 and 7 from 7. So the FDAX traders had a very, very easy session today. It was kind of embarrassingly easy. If they waited for the lower low or the higher high and pushed the button, they couldn't have got it wrong. It's just not possible. So there we go. So the FDAX is becoming easier by the day. How about
Well,
that?
I'm happy to hear that, guys. And even if we've had one
now I
losing
can't
trade,
hear you guys. Can you hear Arlen?
can you hear
See,
me?
my speakers are gone cactus here.
What is going on today? Yeah, I heard earlier that
Now I could hear you before, Arlen, but I can't.
Dan says
so
that
everyone
they
can
can
hear
hear
you, but
me.
I can't. So you just talk. You just talk.
Okay, well, guys, we can now gossip about Lachlan because he does not hear us. So let's all of us write something really funny in the chat, okay? Write something right now, super, super random, that Lachlan will not understand what we're saying about him. How about that? Maybe something like, yes, cactus, the cactus index. I love the cactus index right now. Let's see. I know that he can see the chat. That's the whole idea, guys. Confuse him. Just
No, I
write
can see the
like the
chat,
cactus
and
index.
Akito's turned you up in the background, so now I can hear you. So.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining for another live trading room. We love having Lachlan. We love doing these things. Soon we will also do a US time live trading room as well. So stay tuned for that. We're just preparing a few stuff to make it look even better. So we are working on that. So from my side, thank you so much to Lachlan, and we will see you again on Thursday. And whoever is joining the live trading room series with Samurai Day Trading, you will have the same session tomorrow as well.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. See you guys. Bye.